Hello, and welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help with Lott Jr. I am Lott Jr., and I'm here to help. And someone I have on the show that she actually is out to help too in several different ways. And we're going to talk about those different things. She was on, I think I remember seeing her on the show. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh my God. She's on Bravo's Brad World. I mean, I remember that show. I'm like, oh my goodness, Brad Goreski. But she's also a travel, LA-based travel and budget, lifestyle expert, which we always use that. Of course, we always use tips on that. And she did some very amazing things that I want to talk to you guys about and talk with her about how she came up with them. Please help me welcome Lindsay Myers. Hi, Lindsay.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. First, I'd like to ask everybody, of course, how are you doing during this time period?
Whew. I feel like my answer is changing as we kind of, it's like I feel like at first you're kind of like trying to give yourself a pep talk and be like, I'm hanging in there,
Yes.
It's going to be okay. And then it's like you get a little, we kind of go through like ebbs and flows of different time periods and little struggles. But, it's crazy how quickly I'm kind of gotten used to this kind of new normal, adjusting, being productive and motivated and all that. Healthy and is pretty much, what I can hold on to right now, and still, trying to create content and trying to make a difference like you are. And so doing all the stuff we can safely, but it's day to day. So I think that's all we can do at this moment.
So you're a travel expert, lifestyle expert. So everything changed a few months ago in terms of travel. You can still do lifestyle stuff on some level, but how has that affected you and just kind of what you do, the travel part of it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember the moment this all kind of like came to, and I was like, whoa, like what now? Like, what is my content? What is my angle, my brand? It was like really confusing, a little frustrating. And I took a couple of days of like, and then I was like, you know what? I have to navigate this. I have to pivot. I still want to, produce content and motivate people, but it's just going to have to be from obviously my home, and it's going to have to be a different content. I can't tell people to get on a plane and go travel the world or even take a road trip. So it was all about my whole life kind of, I went into a lot of virtual. So like I'm now producing so much content of like how you can safely travel from your home virtually and these experiences and all that.
Yeah.
So it was a shift though. It was tricky at first though. I think a lot of people have experienced that kind of just like stuck feeling for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I had to like really pivot and figure out kind of the next steps.
Yeah, no, it's like I can tell you how to travel from your kitchen to your couch. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But, much more than that. Your backyard.
I know. I'm like, as I'm in my pajamas, I will tell you.
Yeah, I love it. But no, you make a good point. It's just that we've all had. I work in Hollywood. I mean, we're not shooting. Yeah. Normally you'd be in a studio with me, and we're talking across from each other. So it's like we've all had to really adjust, haven't we, to like the new. Well, I can say the temporary normal. I want to say.
Yeah.
But right now we're at this stage right now. So it's kind of So normally be in a studio with me. I'm like, okay, we're doing it from home. Now you're seeing my artwork. Everybody's seeing what I do and my keyboard.
I like joke around now that like my whole life is in this little box now. Like, you know what I mean? From like Zoom to, it's like Skype. Everything is like we're all in this little IG Live square. It's like my existence right now. But
so true. It's so true. No, I mean, nice thing. I just because I'm nosy, I just have to ask. What was it like filming for Bravo TV? What was it like filming the show with Brad Goreski? What was it like?
Oof. They're amazing. I mean, Brad and Gary are like the loveliest people ever, and they were so great to me. And our team for Bravo was awesome, but like I was living in New York and they moved me to LA to work for them. And it was like, I mean, I got off the airplane and there was a camera crew. Like I didn't have a second.
Wow.
I hadn't driven in like 6 years. I was like, I don't know where to live. I didn't have a place to live. And they of course loved that because I was like content. It was like, let's laugh at Lindsay driving in circles. Yeah. So it's like, it was just poof, my like kind of world exploded. It was fun, but it was like boot camp, like wake up call. Every second's filmed. Like you're like, I'm just having coffee. How is this entertaining? But they filmed every single second.
That's good to know. Because I always thought it's probably not as easy as everybody thinks it is. Like, oh, well, they follow around cameras, they do this. I always figured it must be tough on some level that they're in truth, they're always there. It's hours and hours. It's watching yourself after a while, like, am I picking my nose? Am I doing this? I mean, I'm sure it's all that stuff. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I thank goodness I was like it was a new job for me too. So I was like really wound up in just trying to be a good employee and doing a good job that I was like kind of forgot about all of it. And I mean, you're of course like really, especially when I would like get in trouble or something, like I'd be like this. I was like, come on, get out of my face. But yeah. And then my mom would call me and be like, what happened? Yeah, so you're like getting in trouble in different ways. You're like, it's so strange. But we had so much fun with it, and like none of it was scripted. I mean, I think people always are like, do they force you to do things? You're like, no, of course they love when things, whether it's drama or situations, are brewing. But I mean, for the most part, it's like they film so much because eventually something's gonna happen.
Right, that's true. That's what I think. Right, someone. I mean, it's gonna happen. And I get, and they know how to make something out of it. They have storyline editors and things. I'm sure they can make something out of what they got and chop it up and they can work
oh yeah, I know when things were happening, I was like, oh, this is gonna get edited, and not the way that it happened. But,
so would you do something like that again? Would you do reality TV again?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think also too, having done it, and I do a lot of TV stuff now, you get kind of smart about how the dialogue is presented and like the content and stuff too. So it's like you kind of know how things are being played out, and you don't set yourself up necessarily.
Yeah.
You're just a little smarter. I'm a little smarter about it. So I think I would do it again if the like situation scenario was correct, like the right one.
Yeah, the right one. I mean, that's what I meant to say. That if the right thing came along, where you're like, that could be a good fit. Would you do it again? You're like, yes, you would do it again. So when you guys filmed, from film to air, how long was the ratio? Like, did you see it like everybody else saw it? Or was it like you film it like during summer and then the fall?
We saw it in time. Like, we would have little watch parties and watch it together. We were like, oh my gosh, like that was crazy too, because it was also like 3 months or 4 months after we filmed, and things had changed so much. But it was interesting to see how we developed, and the season finale in our first season was that big party. Remember that one? And we did the like backyard Les Mis.
Yes, I do. I remember. Yes.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. That was so intense because we're talking about filming, pulling off a surprise of a flash mob of like people from all over the United States. It was insane. I mean, I was wearing like multiple. I was having to lie to Brad the whole time, and like. I was like, thank God when this is over. But that was really fun. Like that whole episode, like I was so proud of everything.
Yeah, I love the show. I like the show. I mean, I followed him from Rachel Zoe and all that stuff. I followed him along, and he's a very likable character, so to speak. Like, well, he was a guy in real life, but he was a likable character to watch on TV. I liked it. I liked it.
He's a character through and through. Like, he's not performing. That's him.
Actually, I believe that. I do. I believe that. He seems like a real guy. Like he is who he is. Like, you just, and that's why those people, they last in Hollywood, because they are who they are. That's the whole point.
Yes.
So now going from that to, you decided to stay in LA, apparently. You're still in LA, right?
I'm currently in South Carolina, where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
But I'm usually in LA. It's just we quarantining here was kind of the smart decision. But
you have to show you decide to stay in LA and just and so do you like LA for the most part?
At first it was hard for me, especially coming from New York. It's very isolating. It's like spread out, and it was like so opposite for me. And like I loved New York. I loved the energy and the people and all that. And yes, and so like it was really hard transition for me. I finally found like my people, and like my group of friends was in Venice Beach. Like I moved to Venice area, which is like quirky and eccentric, and I loved being close to the beach, and I could walk again, like just a little bit, because I hate like the car culture. I just don't get. Like I'm like, I hate being in a car so much.
Yeah. I'm a New Yorker too, so I understand. I love it. I love a good subway. I love to walk. I love
Me too.
I love that.
It's like therapeutic and like whatever. I just love the like cultural opportunities in New York, and So it was an adjustment. I mean, I do love the beach and obviously the weather. I mean, the winter in New York killed me every year. I was
Oh,
like, I died a little bit every year. I was
oh,
like,
you
no,
never get used to it.
no,
Never get used to it. Nor'easter
no.
storms. Oh, as you
Every
say
winter
that,
I'd be like, I forgot how bad this was.
I have my
Yeah.
Brooklyn hat. Brooklyn.
Oh,
So,
cute. I
and
love
I'm like,
it.
yes, I'm all in New York. So no, I mean, New York's my magic city. I love New York. It's my magic city,
Yeah.
and it's always will be, obviously. But I mean, LA has good weather. I mean,
I know. You can't beat the weather. You really can't. I mean,
I live in
that's,
Inglewood, so I'm not far from Venice Beach.
ah,
I'm
nice.
on this side of town, so I love being on the west side.
Yeah, me too.
I do. So you did. So one of the things you did was something I thought was when this came across my desk, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to talk to you about this because it's so timely. You started a pen pal program during this
Mhm.
whole COVID-19, and folks out there, as many of you know, seniors, people of a certain age, basically having to be quarantined from everybody else because of the susceptibility they could get the virus. It's much easier for them. So that means a lot of nursing homes, elder care units, senior citizen places, you can't go and see them. And it's like, and it's kind of
Mhm.
sad that they're there by themselves. So you did what's it called, adopt a grandma or something like that, something like that. So please talk about that.
Yeah, of course. I like, when all this happened, I had my moments of feeling kind of lonely and isolated. I'm a social person, like I thrive off social settings. And I was like, if I'm feeling this way, can you imagine what, the older crowd or anyone that cannot be around anyone, see their family, who are isolating alone. I was like, it just breaks my heart. So I was like, it's so important to have connection. And I think that, like what we're doing right now, people are really using technology to their advantage. But again, the older people aren't using the technology. So it's like, what can we do? Let's go old school. Let's put pen to paper, let's connect that way. I mean, just if we can bring a connection or a smile or joy to their day. And, it all started because my grandmother's in a home and yeah, and so she has dementia. So she's in a mental home for basically everyone has dementia in her ward, which is great. But like my grandfather lives behind the building,
Oh, really?
but he can't see her. So like he goes to her window and stuff like that. But it's like, it's just so sad. So that's what started it for me because like he's isolated by himself in a home. She's isolated with others, but in a home, and they don't really know what's going on. So it was like, I was like, if I can encourage anyone to get the kids involved, it's like draw pictures. I printed out a bunch of Polaroids, like anything. There's just really cool things you can like make this like this hug. So you can like do a cutout of a person and it looks like you're hugging. It's so cute. Just like anything you can do. It's also great. Do actual pen pal like old school. Ask them questions about their childhood, happy memories, go back and forth anything you can do. And it's like, obviously there's so many people in homes, but also I wanted people not to forget about the neighbors, like people on your street. There's so many people that are isolated by themselves right now that, aren't in a home, but they're older and they can't go out. And so do something to connect with them. Make sure that they don't feel alone. So anything you do to reach out. I mean, if it is someone close to you, bake them somewhere, something, go get groceries. It's all just about reaching out and having that.
I like the idea of old school in the new
Yeah.
world. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like these are things that are tried and true. Like I mean, they may be old school, but like they're proven things that
Mhm.
we don't do them anymore as much, but they're still proven. Like they do work. I mean, they actually still have a function. They actually can result in something. And pen pal, I had a pen pal when I was in junior high school. I had a pen
Yeah,
pal.
me too. I had international pen pal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there's nothing better than getting a letter. Like still, I love getting letters. Like I still write thank you notes. Like there's something so special about taking that extra step and cards, anything. And I think that no matter what age you are, I think it really touches people and it takes no time at all, and it's like, I'm not asking for people to give money. It's like just something simple that everyone can do no matter where you are in the world.
So to walk me through it, how'd you set this up? How did this work?
So I'm like connecting people because it's like people are all over. So it's like I'm connecting people to whether it's a nursing home, also like outreach programs because a lot of people are having nurses come into their houses and stuff too. So you can work with them. But I'm also telling people like just don't forget about the people that the neighbors and the strangers that are down the street or whoever they are. Cause it's like, I obviously don't know about everyone and I can't connect you to people necessarily in your own community unless they're within a home or something. But I'm like, just remember those people too. It's like, you know, I have a really good friend that's in London and she's American and she's lived there for a short amount of time and this happened and she can't see anyone or be around anyone. She's younger, but she feels so isolated. And like, so I just sent her a card. I mean, the whole point is just like, you're special. I see you. You're not alone. So it's like, just remember everyone, even in strangers and also in your life, you know, connect, you know, obviously a phone call is great, but like go old school, you know, do something they can keep, they can put on their refrigerator or they can look at and make them happy.
So I mean, I saw you have the hashtag PS You're Not Alone. You saw the hashtag, and of course you're at Get Lost with Lindsay. So I mean, so how logistically, what do we do? Just encourage people to pick a place and they just do it, or how did that work? How that work?
Yeah. So I mean, they could do it completely on their own, but also reach out to me. I mean, through social media or my email address is getlostwithlindsay@gmail. So it's like reach out to me and I will help connect you. Depending on where you're located. I think it's important to do it locally, just to like we can kind of, you know, help our own people. I can absolutely connect people. But yeah, just anyone they know that's alone though and isolated at this time.
Okay, that's good. I want to make sure people who say so you can contact her and she will direct you, because I do like the idea of, I always say this in all my stuff, that we are part of the same village. You're part of my village and we're all part of the same village. And I believe in the village mentality where you look after the elders, look after the young ones, we look after each other. We all come from that. We all come from, you know, back in time where all these villages and tribes and everything. And I feel like, I love that idea. It's like, think locally for a change. I mean, you should think globally too, of course, but you should think locally too, because you live here. Like you live here. I mean, it's kind of like, look out for your fellow man. That could be next door or across the street, and like, you know, why not?
Exactly. And I think so much in cities too. It's like we're not connected to our neighbors in cities. You know, not like a lot of places. So it's like it's time. Like I lived in New York. I never knew who lived beside me. Are you kidding me? Like you like dodge people in the hall. You're like, I don't want to talk. But like, you know, but it's like, come on, connect. We need to like take the moment. We're all at home, you know, take the extra step. Like you have the time. Like no one can say right now they don't have time. That's the whole point.
Let me sip my tea on that one, because people be saying that all the time. Like, okay.
No, I know. I'm so busy. I don't know what's happening.
I know. I'm kind of busy too, but you're right. No, but this is what I always say, and excuse my language. I'm always like, can you take a dump? If you have time, take a dump and make some food or whatever. You have time to sit down, and there's so many cute cards out there. You can make a card. I mean, there's you know, I mean, you're right. There's no really any effort at all. It's just kind of like there's effort, but not a lot of effort. It's like seriously. I mean, I got pads everywhere. A nice little pad. Just write something nice on it. I mean, and put it in an envelope.
I mean, go stick your little Post-it note on someone's door, and like, I mean, that would make someone smile instantly.
I love that. I love that idea. That. So who have you written to these days?
So I sent a care package to everyone in my grandmother's home.
Oh, how cool.
I enlisted my nieces who are 5 and 6. We had some really amazing paintings happening. I wrote a couple letters, and then I printed out some like actual pictures for my grandmother, just so she could put up. But then I started with my mom's neighborhood and everything here. And it's like, I pretty much know now the people that are alone and everything. I just walk by and put it in their mailbox. You know, you don't have to mail it. Just walk by and put it in their mailbox, you know? And so I just started with the local communities here. And I mean,
I love the idea about the kids thing. Parents, you guys are all at home.
Yeah.
And school's about to be out. School is about to be out. It's the summertime. This is a great activity and a great arts and crafts thing, a great activity for the kids to do.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it can be, I mean, the artwork that I've been sending out, it's like their hand and it says like love or heart. Like, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. You know, it's like, oh, you can see some of the fridge back here. You know, it's like,
I see it, yeah.
It just looks like finger paint kind of, but it's like the whole point is just, it's special. And, you know, they took the time and that's just, it's the effort, you know, and that's what makes the difference.
It is, and and I always tell people all the time, you never know what makes somebody smile. It could be something. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't need big grand gestures all the time either, and award-winning paintings, or or monologues or a play or something. It's just like sometimes a few words, the way it hits people at that
Mhm.
particular time, it's very different. You just never know how it's going to hit people. The two words you say on a page, maybe just what they need to hear at that
Yeah.
moment.
And I think this time has taught us so much of that. Like, I mean, I go, go, go. And so this has taught me a lot about being still
Mm,
and kind of this whole, and I've been working on that. But I think also what has taught a lot of people is what we don't have any options right now, which is unlike any other time for us. Like we always can have any type of food we want. We can go anywhere, get in the car, walk around, whatever. So I think it's teaching people that to simplify life. Like we don't need abundance. We don't need, 1,000 different choices and options. Let's simplify life. It's all about connections. It's about the people in our lives. And I hope people are reflecting and kind of taking a moment to realize that. I mean, so much of my brand is budget. So it's like
you're
I'm telling you about not just travel, but like how your life, we overdo everything. And people are, always are like, how do you go on a month-long honeymoon? I'm like, because I'm not trying to have the best of everything. I'm picking a couple of things that make me happy, and that and then I go from there. And I just people I hope are simplifying life. It's like from clothes to food to things. It's just we don't to survive. We don't need much of it.
Well, it's funny you say it because I always tell people when I travel, I go to the Caribbean a lot, and I go to places and I say, I stay in the towns.
Yeah,
I don't go to resorts. No shame to the resorts. I've been to a
yeah,
few in my life. I've been to a few, and they are nice.
yeah.
I've been to Atlantis and Bahamas. I know it's nice. But I said I like going into the actual um,
Hmm.
towns and cities, and staying it locally somewhere. We had a nice hotel. We had a hotel in the town, but I'm giving them the money. I'm
Yep.
going to their markets, and I feel like I just came up with this, producer, I can't help it. But I was like, you're putting the life back in lifestyle.
Absolutely. I love that. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, why else? See, this is me personally, though, but I think I'm just like you when I travel. For me to travel, I want to live like the local life. I want to experience the culture, the people, the food. If I go to a resort, I could be anywhere in the world because I'm going to get American food. I'm
Right.
going to get,
Right.
it's like I'm not going to the Caribbean to hang out with other Americans. Like,
Right.
I'm not.
Hello. Exactly. Hello.
I don't want to do that. And it's also the resorts are beautiful, but sometimes it's just like a cruise ship on land.
Right. Right.
So it's like for me, it's just I'm not getting what I want out of, and that's different. Everyone's what they
Very
need and
different.
want out
Very
of a
different.
different experience is up to them. And yeah, no judgment, like you said, if I can tell anyone, it's like if you just try it once because it changes my life every single trip
Yes.
I take.
Yes.
I have a different takeaway. I've learned so much more. I have new friends, a new appreciation for everything and cultures. And I mean, but for me, that's what traveling is. It's the best education I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I agree. And my thing is, you mentioned food. People who know me know I love me some food. Sometimes you get the best places when you talk to the locals.
Absolutely.
They will say, "Come here," and they'll take
Mhm.
you maybe a little hole in the wall somewhere. But
Mhm.
it's like the best food. You can go home saying, "I had the best food in the Dominican Republic." You can say, "I had the best food in parts of Canada." I did that in Montreal. I went to the hole in the walls in Montreal with some people who knew the locals who knew where to go. Don't go over here. Come with me over here. And I had some of the best Chinese food in British Columbia. In Canada. They did. I went where the locals were like, "Come here to
Awesome.
eat." And they ordered in Chinese for me. Like it was that authentic
Oh,
and that good, and the food was so
that's
good, girl.
amazing. And that's like the thing is like you can read every travel book, you can read every guide, but it's like I never plan in advance really. It's because it's what I love to do is I get there and I'm like I go up and find a great place and I go to a bartender. I'm like, hey, if you had tomorrow off, where would you go? Where
Yeah,
would you
exactly.
eat?
It's a good one. It's a good question.
It's the same thing. It's like
Mhm.
give me those. I want those tips. I want that information. And that's the gems. Because think about us. We've done our legwork living wherever we are. We know the good spots,
You
the good
do.
drinks, the
Yeah.
good whatever, and it's like if someone came to LA, for instance, to a certain area, and they just read a guidebook, they're gonna go to every touristy hotspot that everyone else reads about. But the local knows where all the hotspots are, and that's what it's about.
where the food is. I love it with the food and stuff. So I love that. But I love that. I could talk to you forever, Lindsay. I mean, you're just a delight. And so
Oh, you're so great too. I love this.
thank you. So
We have to do it in person though when this is all said and done.
Seriously. Yes, seriously. We're gonna go. I know some places to eat in LA.
Oh, let's do it. Oh my gosh, can we do a live
Yes, girl.
podcast over? Okay, let's do that.
Seriously, we could. We could do that because that'd be a lot of fun. But I know some places in LA to eat that I don't know if you know them or not. You may or may not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know everything. I love learning new things. I'm sure you can teach me a lot.
On a side note, I did a show. It was all pre-virus stuff. Late last year, I did a churro run. I went to 5 churro places in Los Angeles, and did a churro. I filmed it. I did all churro taste. So that's the first time I ever did that. People were saying,
"That's so fun!"
Called the Churro Chronicles, and I did that on my YouTube channel, folks. It's there. But I was like, the first time I ever did that, where I was like, I'm gonna try something that you guys do for a living. I thought I'd try once. It was a lot of fun. I would say it was a lot of fun trying different churros.
That's awesome.
And I had a sugar high afterwards. But other than that, it was fine. I ate the whole churros each time, but still all that sugar. I was like, I can't blink. I can't do anything.
I can't blink.
I'm ready for the world. So
that's amazing.
But it was fun. So yes, in person, I'm holding you to it. We have to do that. Okay, I'm going to follow you online. So she's at Get Lost with Lindsay, getlostwithlindsay.com, getlostwithlindsay@gmail.com. I mean, she made it so simple for you guys out there.
Simple, straight through. So I can remember it as well, you know.
I love it. And I'm James Lott Jr., and this is A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. We're on every streaming service you can think of, so go ahead and find us there. We're on Facebook at A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr., and the videos are on my network, JLJ Media. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Lindsay. Thank everybody out there. Stay safe and sane.